The 5 pillars of Islam are 5 basic acts in Islam, considered mandatory by believers and the foundation of Muslim life. They are summarized in the famous hadith of Gabriel.The Shia and Sunni both agree on the essential details for the performance and practice of these acts, but the Shia do not refer to them by the same name. They make up Muslim life: prayer, concern for the needy, self-purification, and the pilgrimage, if one is able. Pillars of Sunni Islam. Shahada. Faith. Shahada is a declaration of faith and trust that professes that there is only one God and that Muhammad is God's messenger. It is a set statement normally recited in Arabic. La ilaha illallahu Muhammadun Rasulullah. There is no God but God. Muhammad is the messenger of God. Quote, it is essential to utter it to become a Muslim and to convert to Islam. Salat Prayer. Salat is the Islamic prayer. Salat consists of 5 daily prayers according to the Sunnah. The names are according to the prayer times: Fajr, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha. The Fajr prayer is performed before sunrise. Duha is performed in the midday after the sun has surpassed its highest point. Asr is the evening prayer before sunset. Maghrib is the evening prayer after sunset, and Isha is the night prayer. All of these prayers are recited while facing in the direction of the Kaaba in Mecca and forms an important aspect of the Muslim Ummah. Muslims must wash before prayer. This washing is called wudu. The prayer is accompanied by a series of set positions, including bowing with hands on knees, standing, prostrating, and sitting in a special position. A Muslim may perform the prayer anywhere, such as in offices, universities, and fields. However, the mosque is the more preferable place for prayers because the mosque allows for fellowship. Zakat. Charity. Zakat or almsgiving is the practice of charitable giving based on accumulated wealth. The word zakat can be defined as purification and growth because it allows an individual to achieve balance and encourages new growth. The principle of knowing that all things belong to God is essential to purification and growth. Zakat is obligatory for all Muslims who are able to do so. It is the personal responsibility of each Muslim to ease the economic hardship of others and to strive towards eliminating inequality. Zakat consists of spending a portion of one's wealth for the benefit of the poor and needy, like debtors or travelers. A Muslim may also donate more as an act of voluntary charity, rather than to achieve additional divine reward. There are 5 principles that should be followed when giving the zakat. The giver must declare to God his intention to give the zakat. The zakat must be paid on the day that it is due. After the offering, the payer must not exaggerate on spending his money more than usual means. Payment must be in kind. This means if one is wealthy, then he or she needs to pay a portion of their income. If a person does not have much money, then they should compensate for it in different ways, such as good deeds and good behavior toward others. The zakat must be distributed in the community from which it was taken. Sawm, fasting. 3 types of fasting are recognized by the Quran. Ritual fasting, fasting as compensation for repentance, and ascetic fasting. Ritual fasting is an obligatory act during the month of Ramadan. Muslims must abstain from food and drink from dawn to dusk during this month, and are to be especially mindful of other sins. Fasting is necessarily for every Muslim that has reached puberty. The fast is meant to allow Muslims to seek nearness and to look for forgiveness from God, to express their gratitude to and dependence on Him, atone for their past sins, and to remind them of the needy. During Ramadan, Muslims are also also expected to put more effort into following the teachings of Islam by refraining from violence, anger, envy, greed, lust, profane language, gossip, and to try to get along with fellow Muslims better. In addition, all obscene and irreligious sights and sounds are to be avoided. Fasting during Ramadan is obligatory, but is forbidden for several groups for whom it would be very dangerous and excessively problematic. These include prepubescent children, those with a medical condition such as diabetes, elderly people, and pregnant or breastfeeding women. Observing fasts is not permitted for menstruating women. Other individuals for whom it is considered acceptable not to fast are those who are ill or traveling. Missing fasts usually must be made up for soon afterward, although the exact requirements vary according to circumstance. Hajj. Pilgrimage to Mecca. The Hajj is a pilgrimage that occurs during the Islamic month of Dhu al-Hijjah to the holy city of Mecca. Every able-bodied Muslim is obliged to make the pilgrimage to Mecca at least once in their life. When the pilgrim is around 10 kilometers from Mecca, she must dress in ihram clothing, which consists of 2 white sheets. Both men and women are required to make the pilgrimage to Mecca. After a Muslim makes the trip to Mecca, she is known as a Hajj. Hajjah. The main rituals of the Hajj include walking 7 times around the Kaaba termed Tawaf, touching the black stone termed Istilam, traveling 7 times between Mount Safa and Mount Marwa termed Sa'i, and symbolically stoning the devil in Mina termed Rami. The pilgrim, or the Haji, is honored in the Muslim community. Islamic teachers say that the Hajj should be an expression of devotion to God, not a means to gain social standing. The believer should be self-aware and examine their intentions in performing the pilgrimage. This should lead to constant striving for self-improvement. A pilgrimage made at any time other than the Hajj season is called an Umrah, and while not mandatory is strongly recommended. Also, they make a pilgrimage to the holy city of Jerusalem in their alms-giving feast. Pillars of Shia Islam. 12 verse 12. Shia Islam has 5 usul al-din and 10 furu al-din, i.e. the Shia Islamic beliefs and practices. The 12 Shia Islam usul al-din, equivalent to a Shia 5 pillars, are all beliefs considered foundational to Islam, and thus classified a bit differently from those listed above. They are Tawhid, Adl, Nubuwwah, Imamah, Miad. In addition to these 5 pillars, there are 10 practices that Shia Muslims must perform, called the Ancillaries of the faith: Salat, Sawm, Zakat. Similar to Sunni Islam, it applies to money, cattle, silver, gold, dates, raisins, wheat, and barley. Comes an annual taxation of 1/5 of the gains that a year has been passed on without using. Comes is paid to the imams, indirectly to poor and needy people. Hajj. Jihad. Amr bil Maruf, enjoining what is right. Nahi anil munkar, forbidding what is wrong. Tawala, expressing love towards good. Tabara, expressing disassociation and hatred towards evil. Ismailis have their own pillars, which are as follows. Wilaya denotes love and devotion to God, the prophets, the Imamah, and the Du'at. Tawhid, oneness of God. Salat, unlike Sunni and 12 Muslims, Nazari Ismailis reason that it is up to the current Imam to designate the style and form of prayer. Zakat, with the exception of the Druze, all Ismaili madhab have practices resembling that of Sunni and 12 Muslims, with the addition of the characteristic Shia comes. Sawm, Nazari and Mustali believe in both the metaphorical and literal meaning of fasting. Hajj, for Ismailis this means visiting the Imam or his representative, and that this is the greatest and most spiritual of all pilgrimages. The Mustali maintain also the practice of going to Mecca. The Druze interpret this completely metaphorically as fleeing from devils and oppressors, and really go to Mecca. Jihad or struggle, the greater struggle and the lesser struggle.